Hey fellow gamers, Chatty Sisa here. Welcome to the next part of the walkthrough or guide for Horizon Zero Dawn, where we find all the data points and collectibles, including all the quest items, and where we are proceeding through the map in the same order as you would normally throughout the game and through all the main quests. As you can see on the map here, we are currently looking at the portion 4B, which is South of Meridian, but on top of that we are going to finish also the quest which we have from the Hunter's Lodge. So we are going to gather the data point or the glyph which is related to that quest, and also we will finish the quest line for Erend, for Erend's quest, because that's also in the main quests. So you will gather the data points here as well for this one. I hope this guide is useful for you. In case it is, please don't forget to hit that like button below and feel free to comment and share. It would be really much appreciated. Thank you and enjoy watching this next part. And we're back in Meridian. Once you are here, don't forget to proceed in the quest which you've got from the Hunter's Lodge, just so that you can get at the end the data point that we are going to need. But once we are here, before we proceed to the southern portion of the map, and let me switch. So we need to explore the southern portion of the map here, the southern portion of the fourth part. And we do have here a couple of items, the metal flowers, the vantage point, there's another settlement. We also have one cauldron and a Tallneck here. But before we proceed, there is one thing which I would like to do, and that is proceed in Erend's quest, because we will leave Meridian for a while, but we will have to go back anyway and meet here back with him. And we have already the northern portion of the map uncovered. This is where we need to go, as you can see, into the borderlands, go to Pitchcliff. And we have within this quest with Erend actually additional data points that we need to gather, which are related to quests, so quest data points. So let me do this one, go to the Pitchcliff and to the northern portion of the map, which we have already previously uncovered, and then return back to Meridian. Okay, we're in front of Pitchcliff, the settlement here, so let's proceed in Erend's quest. And I will be switching back to the recording once we have an important part of the quest where we get some data points. Alright, so in order to proceed in the quest, you will leave Pitchcliff and go towards the north. You have already here one campfire that we previously uncovered, and we'll have to go to Derval's camp, where we will find some additional data points. Good, once you've taken care of everyone in Derval's camp, there is one last person who will be coming out of the door here, and once you dealt with that person, we'll be going downstairs and then we'll pick up the data points. There are several things here which you can scan. Two of them will yield some data points, so let's scan first the room.
This machine has been picked apart with precision. Such a strange device. It's beautifully crafted. Derval's records, maybe.
Okay, let's start in the corner here.
What's Derval learned from all his tinkering? Do I even want to know?
Okay, here's one of the data points.
What happens when I turn it on?
I think I've got it working. There. Now, say something. Both of you, Doves.
I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Whatever you want. I just want to hear your voice. And keep it for later.
I'll sing, Papa. La 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 la.
There. A song and a laugh. Even better than words. And now I can hear them whenever I want.
We're done then? Off to bed with you.
Good night, Mama. Good night, Papa.
Is she gone? What are we going to do? The raids are getting closer and closer to main spring. How much longer can we hide like this?
A keepsake from his family. Dervahl's got nothing left to lose.
Okay, let's check the inventory. And as you can see, it's the very last audio data point that we are supposed to find, which is the data point number 63. And let's have a look at Dervahl's journal.
Just notes about crafting. Oh, and a letter tucked between the pages. Lots of blaze. Headed to Meridian. If we find it, I'll bet we find Dervahl too.
Alright, so let's go back to the inventory items. And if we look at the items here, we have the text data points related to quests. And it's this one, which is Dervahl's journal. And it's the text data point related to quests number 49. Good, so let's go then back to Meridian, and I'll be back at the recording once we proceed in this quest. Well, once you're back in Meridian, you can finish the quest, which is Erend's quest. There are no more data points from this quest, and the only remaining main quest then that you will have is the one that Silence gave you. So let me switch now to the Hunter's Lodge and let me finish that quest as well, because there we will be able to upon finalizing it, getting the remaining glyph that's still outstanding here in Meridian. At the Hunter's Lodge, when you're in the final stages of the quest, you will get some information from Legan that Talanah and Aziz went after Redmaw, so you're going to follow them. And if I switch to the map now, you will see that the quest leads us exactly towards the portion of the map that we have not yet uncovered. So we will follow this quest, and while we are on the way, we will be gathering the metal flowers here. We will also go for the Cauldron and for the Tallneck, and then finish the quest with the Redmaw. So this is our current view, and where you see the path highlighted, that's the part of the map that we are now going to uncover. If I switch to the smaller map with the data points, you can see that we have on the way data points 28, 56 and 29. Those are leading towards the south as we are going. The number 23, 25 and 24 and 22 are a little bit towards the west, and we will be going for those data points a little bit later. So let's for now just focus on 28, 56 and 29. And also if you switch to the other map and we have a look at the glyphs, we can see that the glyph number 3 and 14 as well as the glyph number 17 are all towards the western side of the map, so we are not going to gather those at this moment. So in order to get the next metal flower and the next data point, which is number 28, we need to leave Meridian towards the southern side. You can see on the map where we currently are. So we have the elevators behind our back, and we are using this exit out of the city. When you cross the bridge and you look towards that stone with the marker for the road, you can see actually above Aloy's head already the data point from here. The tricky part is to get to it, at least to a distance where you can scan it. Alright, so the Striders have left. And we have here the next data point. And as you can see, it's the data point number 28. Good, so we've got that one. Let me switch back to the map. This is where we currently are. And we have the metal flower on top of the big rock formation that is right next to our right side. So we'll have to climb up. The metal flower is above us. Good, as you could see, there are some stalkers in the area, so let's try to be quiet. And you actually have to cross towards this side in order to be able to climb up. As you can see, we are right next to the spot where you can climb. And there is already the stalker. So let me climb up. Okay, so for whatever reason there is a merchant on top here. And right next to the merchant is the next metal flower.
It's beautiful in its way.
Okay, so if you look at the metal flowers, we are currently missing 3 flowers from the second set and also 3 flowers from the third set. Let me switch back to the map. So this is where we currently are, and we need to climb down again and proceed towards this next campfire. Yeah, you have 2 options. You can either climb back down, or you can use here the rappel down system, which is actually faster. So let's do this one. And let me proceed towards the other side, and let's try to avoid the stalkers. When you proceed on the main road towards the south, you will come across a bandit camp. You need to clear out this bandit camp because within the camp there is actually one of the data points that we need to get. And if you look at the map where we are, so we are south of Meridian and in front of this bandit camp here. So let me clean out the camp and then I'm going to show you where we can find the next data point here. Good, once you have cleared out the camp, you will find yourself opposite to this merchant here. Now, if you look towards your left side, you will see that there is like a remains of a downed airplane.
In transport to Mainspring.
And you need to follow that plane, the wing of the
The
plane.
machine rider stopped him cold.
And as you can see, the data point is here, so basically it's at one end of the airplane, or what's left of the airplane. And as we could see previously on the smaller map, this is the data point number 56. And this is where we currently are on the map. As you can see, we are next to the marker for the settlement. It's now called Blackwing Snack. And we will now proceed a little bit towards the eastern side, towards this area where we can see the next campfire. And let me switch the quests. So as you can see, the road is leading us towards the next campfire here on the southeastern side. And from here we will be able to go and gather the metal flower, the next metal flower, and then go for the next Tallneck before we reach the site where Talanah is and where we can find Redmaw. When you proceed along the road from the campfire where we have just been, you will pass by these chargers. And if you continue on the road, you will see that the next metal flower is on top of this big rock formation. And actually you can already see from here a spot where you can climb up. It's above Aloy's head. Let me show you on the map where we are. So we're currently standing in front of the small river and we just need to go straight ahead and climb up. As you can see, that's quite a big space here, a bigger plateau, and straight ahead in front of us is the flower. Good, so we have another one from the third set. We are only missing 2 from this set. And this is where we currently are. As you can see, there is also a campfire here, so don't forget to save your game. And from here we will proceed towards the Tallneck, which isn't so far away. From the campfire here you can rappel down, which is the easiest way how to reach the Tallneck. And as you can see, we are 167 steps away from it, so let's go towards the Tallneck now. You have to be careful when you approach the Tallneck. As you can see, there are many machines in the area, so try to avoid them. But the tricky part is that even on those spots where you need to go and jump onto the Tallneck, there are some machines as well, so you'll not be able to avoid it completely to deal with the machines here. Good, so we have the next data point from machines. Let me have a look. So it's the 5th text data point from machines. And this is where we currently are. So as you can see, we are on the other side from which we came. So here's the campfire which we have been at last, and now we are near to another campfire. We can now proceed towards Redmaw, the quest where we need to help Talanah and finish this one. It's not so far away from here, so let's go there, but be ready, there will be some bandits that will be trying to kill Talanah, so make sure that you are ready when you approach the site. When you deal with Redmaw, you will get an update in the quest, which will say return to the Hunter's Lodge. We will, however, not go back to Meridian at this time. Let me switch to the map. And as you can see, we can proceed towards the west and we can go towards the Cauldron, which is here. And then once we dealt with the cauldron, we can also gather the metal flower, which is not so far away. Also in the same area, we will then find the next data point, which we can see on the smaller map. And that is the data point number 29. Alright, so I have highlighted the cauldron as the next point of interest. Let's try to get there. We will just follow the road as is highlighted here. And then once we approach the campfire, which is right next to the cauldron or in front of the cauldron, I will go back to the recording. Okay, we are at the entrance to the cauldron, or what's supposed to be the entrance to the cauldron, and as you can see and hear, there are quite a few bandits here. They are also within the cauldron, and it is as tricky to get in as it is tricky to get out of the cauldron. So I will be switching in the recording to the point where we can override the cauldron score and get the respective data point. Good, so we've reached the core, we can override it now. However, before we do that, I will prepare the area a little bit because there will be a lot of enemies coming towards us once we override the core. There will be both the Eclipse troops, which will be coming from the front, opposite to Alloy, and from the left side there will be a lot of machines coming. So it's a good idea to find a good spot and, let's say, prepare it to be able to withstand then the attacks there. Well, once you survive the carnage, right in front of you is the way out, so you can leave the cauldron this way. However, be careful, because on your way out you will have to fight again a lot of machines and Eclipse troops. Okay, once you exit the cauldron and leave behind the carnage here, I would suggest to go back to the entrance through which you arrived, which is now above Aloy's head, because there's the campfire where we can save our game. And once we do that, we will proceed across the camp here towards the left side, because on that side there we have another data point and another metal flower. So let me go over there and save the game, and then from there I will show you how to find the next metal flower and data point. Alright, so we did save the game. Let's turn back. And we'll go through the camp again, but towards the other entrance here. And as you can see, there are some bellowbacks in front of you. It is also where the metal flower is and where the data point is. So unfortunately you will not be able to sneak past them and get those data points and the metal flower without being spotted. I would therefore suggest to get rid of the bellowbacks first before you proceed. Good, now that you've got rid of the bellowbacks, we can pick up both the metal flower and the data point. The metal flower is right here.
What made these flowers? And why?
And we are now missing only one from the third set. Let me show you on the map where we are. So we are behind the cauldron from another entrance. As you can see, here's the campfire where we saved the game. And this is where we currently are. It's a bellowback site. And we have to go somewhere here towards the marker to pick up the next data point. The data point is in the water, it's a little bit hidden. And as you can see, here it is. Let me show you the map again. So this is where we are. It's like a small island in the middle of all these rivers. And it's the data point number 29. So as you can see, we are basically at the very south of the map. The next what we could do is to go to this vantage point and then towards this settlement here, which is very close to the vantage point. Let me switch to the smaller map. So as you can see on the map with the glyphs, we have also glyph number 17 here. And if we look at the other map, we could technically pick up on our way back to Meridian also the data point number 23 and 25. So let me go first towards the vantage point and then towards the settlement here. And we've arrived at the vantage point, but that vantage point is not accessible from this side. We have to proceed further towards the settlement. And as you can hear, there is a fight going on, so we have to help them out and then we can come back here to the vantage point. Good, so once you help them out, you can see here's Sunstone Rock, that's the settlement that we have seen on the map. So we are looking right at it. And if you look a little bit towards the left side, now you can see the spots above Aloy's head where we can climb up towards that vantage point. Okay, let me show you again where we are on the map.
A pocket shitstorm tore day 7. I was 3 months out of rehab when we went camping out here. Wyatt went to sleep early. So it was just the two of us when we stayed up and watched the Perseids. After, as we talked about the stars and space tech, I suddenly knew what I wanted to do with my life.
Alright, so that's the vantage point. And let me turn around and show you the Sunstone Rock settlement again. It's over there. So we have to rappel down here and go there because we need to find the next data point or the glyph which is there in the area. So go back to the point where you started to climb towards the vantage point. So here on this rock. In front of you, you will have the Sunstone Rock settlement, but we're not going inside. We need to find the glyph outside of it, so just proceed towards the other side of the road. You can see there are some gardens here, and on top of the rock in front of you, or above Aloy's head, is now the next glyph. As you can see, we are next to our field. Let me show you on the map where we are. So we are now looking at Sunstone Rock and we are in a garden. Alright, so that was the data point or the glyph number 17. And if you look at the text data points from the machines, it looks like we do have a bug here. We did gather the last data point from the Cauldron where we have been, so that was the number 8 actually. And if you look at how many data points are coming from which source, you can see that we have the first 5 data points coming from Tallneck, and then you have 5 data points related to Cauldrons. Now, Tallneck, we did override only 4 so far. And this one, the second one, is supposed to be the one which is still in the not yet discovered portion of the map, which is in the Shadow Karja lands. Let me switch to the map. And it would be this Tallneck. So we still didn't override it, yet for some reason we already have the log in the text data points from the machines. And if we go back from the cauldrons, we did override only 4, and yet there are 5. And that is because if you override or if you gather all of the data points, the 9 data points, both from the Tallnecks as well as the cauldrons, then you get this last one, this additional one, 329G, as an additional on top, let's say, revelation. But the problem is, as I said, that we actually shouldn't even get this one because we are still not having the Tallneck here from the Shadow Karja lands. So for some reason, a bug caused obviously this one to pop in. And in this case also we automatically have gotten already the last log. So this is what the last log is looking like. So let me go back to the map, just FYI. We shouldn't be having them yet. We did not override this Tallneck. The moment we would override this Tallneck here, because we do have everything else, we would get that last text data point from the machines as well. So just a quick explanation why we suddenly see all of them popping in. Unfortunately happened, but yeah, hopefully you will not have a buggy game when you are playing. And just in case you are wondering, the Tallneck here in the cut, in the Banuk lands, it has a specific separate slot in the notebook, so everything that is coming from the DLC, if you look at it, it has separate slots. So we have separate audio data points, separate text data points from the world, etc. So this is not interfering with the main or base game. So this is definitely a bug. From the scanned glyphs, we are missing number 2. That one will be now updated in the Hunter's Lodge when we return back to Meridian. We have number 3 missing, number 14, and number 18. Good, now if you look at the map, automatically the quest has been switched again back to the main quest where we need to proceed towards the location that Silence has told us to approach, but I would change it. When you have talked in Sunstone Rock to Captain Geneva, you got a additional task which you can do. I would suggest to do that because first of all, it's not so far away, at least the first one is already in the camp that we have cleared out, and the other one, which we need to find, the one person that we need to find, is actually hiding very close by to the data point number 23 and 25, which we need to pick up anyway. So I would suggest to do this one, it's pretty easy to do. And then once we have done that, we can return through this corrupted zone back to Meridian. Okay, when you proceed on the road, you will come across the next campfire. From here, we need to take the road that leads towards the right side. And as you can see, we have to turn then towards the area where we find Rasgrund. And the data points that we are looking for are here. You can continue on the road until you see on your right side a clearing. There is some ancient debris, as you can see, a Deathbringer and something more. Careful, there are also some machines, as you can see, in front of Aloy or above Aloy's head. One of the data points is straight beneath the Deathbringer. And it's the data point number 23. So this is where we currently are, when we still need to get to the other one, which means that we will probably not be able to avoid the machines here and deal with them. As you can see, we have right in front of us the next machine. It is a sawtooth, it's not really that bad. But the next data point is now above Aloy's head, as you can see, and it's out in the open. And I'm not sure if we can get there without getting rid of the sawtooth first. Let me try. Good, so we have number 25 now as well. And this is where we currently are. We need to turn around and find Rasgrund behind us. Let me return towards the Hunter's Lodge and let me talk to Talanah, because now we will have finalized the Redmaw quest and we will get the glyph that we are still missing. Well, we're in front of the Hunter's Lodge now in Meridian, and we can now finish the quest from Talanah, and we will finally get the glyph that we are missing here.
Was the assassin really an author?
And as you come up the stairs, you can already see that we have here the new glyph that we can now scan. Which is a record of Redmaw number 2. And it's the glyph number 2. So if you look at the glyphs now, we are still missing glyph number 3, number 14, and number 18. Let me switch to the smaller map now. And as you can see, glyph number 3 and 14 are in another settlement. We have to go there anyway. It's the third person we need to find for Captain Geneva. We can combine both the quest as well as finding the glyphs there. And then glyph number 18, the last one, is already in the Shadow Kaja territory, which we will look into next. From the collectibles, we can also see that we have now the next vantage point, so we are still missing 3 vantage points. We have 2 sets full of the ancient vessels, and we are missing just 1 single ancient vessel. From the Banuk figures, we are still missing 2 Banuk figures. And we are missing 4 metal flowers. So if I switch back to the map, you can see that we have 1 ancient vessel here still in this portion of the map. We have also 2 metal flowers in this portion of the map. There's another Banuk figure as well here. And everything else is then in the Shadow Kaja territory. Good, let me finish the quest Redmaw and talk to Talanah. And once we are done, we will proceed from Meridian towards the northern side and we'll go and find Gavan in the next settlement here, where we can also find the glyphs. And then from there, we'll make our way towards the quest that we have from Silence, and we can gather on the way all the ancient vessels, metal flowers, etc. So that's it for the portion of the map which is marked here as 4B. And as you can see, the next time we will be looking at 4C. That's the remaining portion of the fourth part of the map. We will also gather here the data points and the quest related items for the main quest, where we need to follow up with Silence on the crashing of the network. So that's going to be in the next portion. And I do hope that you enjoy this series. In case you do, please also don't forget to hit that subscribe button and you will be notified when I upload the next time the next vid. Thank you very much, and also thank you all for watching. Stay tuned and game on.